So you're thinking of moving to Baxter, Minnesota, and you want to know the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, and the pros and cons of living in this fast-growing Brainerd Lakes area community. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in this video today. And we're going to cover a lot of questions that we get all the time regarding Baxter. People often compare Baxter to other towns, to Brainerd, Nisswa, Pequot Lakes, kind of more typical comparisons, and wondering if Baxter is the right fit for their lifestyle. So with that, we'd go ahead and jump into the Magic School Bus and take a Google Map tour of Baxter. That way, we can show you around, highlight some of the best features, and really talk about what makes Baxter really the most convenient town in Brainerd Lakes area, while also, sprinkling in some of the downsides to give you the full picture. So we're going to get after that right now. All right, if this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in the Brainerd Lakes area, including towns like Baxter, make sure you subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications. That way you'll be the very first to know about what the current market is like and everything that's happening in the Brainerd Lakes area. My name is Noah Gedker with eXp Realty. We get calls, texts, emails every day from people just like you looking to make their move to the Brainerd Lakes area and absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90, reach out. We'll be able to help you make that smooth move to Baxter, Minnesota, and the surrounding communities. All right, so Baxter is one of the fastest growing towns in the Brainerd Lakes area for good reason. It's located right next to Brainerd. Most people don't even know the difference. You think you're going through Brainerd or in Brainerd, but it's really Baxter. It's really the go-to spot for shopping, schools. Most of the area's kind of newer housing developments will be in Baxter. And if you're looking for a place that offers, a lot of modern conveniences, newer neighborhoods, quick access to all of the outdoor activities that the Lakes area has to offer, Baxter is definitely worth considering if you are looking to move to the Brainerd Lakes area. So let's go ahead and pull up the maps and take a closer look. First thing I want to do, I usually like to do, is just show you where Baxter is located in comparison to other parts of the state, right? The obvious thing would be Minneapolis area. Where's the nearest international airport? So I'm going to show you that really quick. Okay, so you're going to take Baxter down Highway 371 to Highway 10, down to 94, and it's usually pretty smooth sailing till about right here, Rogers, Maple Grove. Then it slows down a little bit, but you're going to pretty much stick around to 94, 494, wrap around to the south side of the Twin Cities to get to the airport there, and it's generally going to be about 2.5 hours. So you could also take as we've talked about before, the Brainerd Airport shuttle. They have daily flights through Delta. It's about 15 minutes to get from the Brainerd Airport to the Minneapolis Airport. So then the next area you probably want to see is Duluth, Minnesota. So that's going to be, take a lot of not back roads really, but 2-lane state highways. So you don't have a lot of opportunities to pass, so you could get stuck behind a logging truck or something like that. So I never like when that happens. I always think that one of the big logs is going to fly back and go through my windshield like some kind of movie or something, but it never happens. So about 2 to 2.5 hours, just really the main things, just depending on the traffic. And then let's see here, from Baxter to Fargo, again, 2.5 hours or so, depending on traffic. There is a good stretch that direction out west that is 4 lanes. So that does make the drive a little smoother. So again, the traffic coming and going, wintertime, the traffic is really weather dependent. And the summertime, that's when we get a lot of traffic coming on Friday afternoons. It's going to be really busy traffic going north from the Twin Cities to the Brainerd Lakes area to Baxter. And if you're coming to the Brainerd Lakes area, you're generally going through Baxter. Okay, so that's kind of the spot where the gateway, if you will, to the Brainerd Lakes area. So another reason why there's so many like restaurants and retail shopping and all that kind of stuff right in Baxter. So, and then Sunday afternoon, usually people going back south, it'll be busy then. So, but otherwise it's generally, pretty good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and zoom in a little closer here. Okay. One of the biggest pros of living in Baxter is convenience, right? The Highway 371 corridor, which is right here, So this is really the gateway, right, to the Brainerd Lakes area. If you're heading to Brainerd, Merrifield, Crosby, you're going to go that direction. East Gull Lake, Nisswa, Pequot Lakes, all that's going to be that direction, right? This is right, right in here is where it gets really busy. So they're actually proposing on this intersection here, Highway 371 and 210. They're actually working on proposals to improve that. It's a number of options in the air as far as what they're actually gonna land on, the work that they're gonna do there. So this stretch is packed, but it has everything you need right in here. So Target, Costco, Walmart, Home Depot, Fleet Farm, you name it. If you're someone who doesn't want to drive far for groceries, if you're doing DIY stuff, stopping at Home Depot, you could never go to Home Depot just once. You always have to go back. So it's kind of nice if it's close by, right? And even making a coffee run, Baxter has definitely got you covered. So, okay, so you see Costco right here is already popped up, obviously, right? So Costco is very conveniently located. So right in here, we're gonna have Home Depot is right here. There's a lot of like TJ Maxx and Ulta, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, I think is one of those stores over there. That's a popular one. I don't know. Not for me. Walmart is then right over here as well. A lot of stuff still being built up. There's even like dental offices, medical clinics, that kind of stuff, all right in this section here. And then up on this side, so we've got grocery store and like a few different coffee shops actually. So Starbucks is right here. There's a couple of Caribou Coffees both on here. This side, Chipotle, number of restaurants, right? On the east side, so we're gonna have like Target, Mills Fleet Farm down here, Aldi right next to Target. So there's just a ton of stuff. There's indoor water parks, 1, 2, one on this side is the west side as well as 3 indoor water parks that you can take advantage of on cold days when you can't make it to the lake in January or February. Caribou Coffee, it's pretty popular here. I still prefer Starbucks. It could be also that worked for Starbucks for many, many years. Zoom in a little further, kind of over by where Starbucks is. Well, it used to be called Prairie Bay Restaurant. Now it's been converted to an Italian themed restaurant by Adela. And 371 Diner is down this direction. And that's the old diner car type, American style menu. That's a really cool place. And then nationwide chains like Arby's. But then, a really great local restaurant, Grizzly's Woodfire Grill. That is a great place for just like burgers and sandwiches and just your kind of American fare, if you will. Culver's right over here. A lot of good local places, but also some that will let you be the judge of those. Everybody's taste buds are different. Let me just zoom back out a little bit again. It's actually, let me just see. It's Poncho and Lefty's, which is like a Tex-Mex restaurant right here. Sit down style restaurant. And then El Tequila is over by Costco, right in that area. So right here. This is a really good, kind of a more authentic Mexican restaurant. Covered shopping, so healthcare and schools. So Essentia Healthcare is kind of the major hospital system serving the Brainerd Lakes area. Crosby has a different one. And then there's a couple of different ones, over into Staples. There's west of Baxter. There's a different health system. In Brainerd, Essentia is the main one. And there's actually a large clinic right down here. Forest View Middle School, a fairly new school, very large school, highly rated, great location. I mean, they have a ton of really beautifully designed school that having close by is a large perk. There's a lot of housing. So all of this really is housing in here. And then you have quick access from the Highway 210 in Baxter. So if you're coming from the west, or on the north side of Baxter, that's a quick route. Coming from the east, from Brainerd, you can go this direction, and then coming from the north, obviously you'd come down just like that. So it's pretty conveniently located for a lot of families, close by to all of the shopping and 371 corridor. So at times it can feel a little busier and a little less up north, if you will, than some of the other towns in the area. So if you're looking for pure seclusion, Baxter might not be the place for you, but the typical lot, is going to be closer, like home is going to be situated on, close to a half-acre lot. So you're going to have elbow room. It's not an old town like Brainerd or Crosby where you're going to have those, 50-foot lots or 40-foot lots even, so you have plenty of room for your home. And then let's see here, let's go to Baxter Elementary School. So the Baxter Elementary School, and then the Early Childhood Center. City Hall is right here. Police station's right there as well. And those are going to be really close to Oscar Christopherson Park, which we have visited on a past video about Baxter. So that's a great, popular park there. Lauren Thompson Park, really nice park. So there's some good parks in Baxter, and they're working on, it's a fairly new town. They're working on it. So we've got the Forest View baseball field, the Mississippi Overlook Park, Riverview Park. So most of the parks are going to be more on the southern part of town. Jewelwood Park is a very small park. It's like a couple of city lots basically. But let's go ahead and make our second stop here. All right, so let's talk about where people actually live in Baxter. Okay, so there's newer developments. Baxter has some of the most modern housing in the Brainerd Lakes area, partially because there's a space for it, as people do want the convenient location of Baxter with having the elbow room. There's actually space to build. You're going to find newer construction, well-maintained neighborhoods that are 20 years old or so, kind of the early 2000s. There's plenty of cul-de-sac neighborhoods in Baxter. As opposed to Brainerd, that's kind of built on that grid system, that old grid system. Baxter is windy roads, all, a little easier to get lost, I think, in Baxter than it is in Brainerd. As far as compared to Nisswa or Lakeshore, Baxter is going to be more affordable place to buy a home while still being really close to all of the amenities. Okay, your typical off-water, single family home in Baxter is going to be around 400,000, somewhere in that area. You can certainly find homes less than that. Older homes will be less than that. A new townhome in the low 300s. Now there are lake homes, so Red Sand Lake, right? Whipple, White Sand Lake. White Sand Lake is going to be the most popular lake in Baxter, but then also Perch Lake. Okay, White Sand is going to be the more premium properties within Baxter. The homes are going to be closer to, they're going to be more starting out at like 500,000 or 600,000, at least on White Sand, Whipple, Red Sand. And you can find homes for less than that on the water in Baxter, but it really kind of depends on what you like, what you don't like, all that. So homes that will be needing quite a bit of repair that you can find that will be less than that. So that could be a good investment opportunity if you want to be on the lake, but you're limited on budget and you're capable of doing some DIY stuff. There may be some options there. But you're not generally going to see lake homes in Baxter that are like $2 million, right? Like you would see in East Gull Lake or Lakeshore, Nisswa, or Cross Lake, but they can get closer to $1 million, right? Kind of think around the 700 to 900,000, somewhere in there. That's going to be maybe a little bit more on the higher end. What is the downside in Baxter? Well, it doesn't have as much of the old school up north charm that you might still find even in Cross Lake or Nisswa. It's more of a suburban type feel than rustic. The good thing is that you can have quick access to all that the Brainerd Lakes area has to offer, but the convenience of kind of what you might find in a newer suburban area, right? So our third stop, I want to talk about outdoor recreation and activities. And I think with all this growth, all these new homes and restaurants and everything, is there room for outdoor activities and whatnot? So Whipple Beach would be biggest draw. The city of Baxter did a really great job of building this out. There's outdoor showers to rinse off when you're done swimming, and there's public restrooms and covered pavilion area that's really great you can rent out for like a family get together or whatever it might be. It's a playground and beautiful sandy beach, plenty of space to spread out. It does get pretty busy, but you'd be surprised, even on its busiest days, it's not as busy as you would see in like a beach closer to like a larger metropolitan area. Yeah, even though Baxter is one of the more developed areas within the Brainerd Lakes area, there are great outdoor activities like Whipple Beach, which really is one of the best kept secrets about Baxter. A great sandy beach, easy to get to. From Highway 371, you just turn left here at where Best Buy is located, and it's like 6-minute drive or so. And there's plenty of parking, so very easy to get to. Or you can go down this way; it's a little less direct that direction, but very easy to get to. You know, we talked about the different parks within Baxter all throughout. More of the parks are going to be on south of Highway 210. I also want to hit on Northland Arboretum. It's a nature preserve area in the wintertime. It's great used a ton for cross-country skiing, used for hiking and running trails. That's connected to the Paul Bunyan Trail, which we talk about all the time. You know, the Paul Bunyan Trail runs up this direction, about 120-mile paved trail that goes all the way, starts in the Brainerd Lakes area and goes all the way up to Bemidji. The Northland Arboretum, I think it's been there for almost 50 years. It's a nature preserve. They have a great event center that can be rented out. It actually used to be the city dump, so most people don't know that. White Sand also has, you know, public access, but if you're going to go swimming, you know, at a public beach, you're going to go to Whipple Beach. I want to go back to that just because, you know, obviously you can swim, but, you know, it's great for kayaking, paddle boarding. You know, there's a boat launch right next to the beach, so you can bring your boat out and enjoy the lake there that way too. So just like you can most of the lakes in the Brainerd Lakes area, you don't have to pay ton of money to live on a lake to be able to enjoy any of the lakes. So in fact, you can live in Baxter and be close to a whole bunch of lakes. So actually, let me just touch that really quick. Yeah, the little bit smaller lakes in Baxter compared to the more premium ones in the lakes area. But I mean, you're just a few minutes from Gull Lake. North Long Lake is right here. Round Lake. Okay, Pelican Lake here. The Whitefish Chain over here. Mississippi River here, but probably won't be boating there unless you're enjoy fishing on the river. But there's just a ton of lakes: Lake Hubert, Lake Edward. Just kind of naming some of the bigger lakes that would be available to everyone in the public. So if you don't like one lake because it's going to be too busy, sometimes Gull Lake Chain can get pretty busy. You know, maybe head over to a different lake that doesn't get quite as busy. You know, there's Pelican is generally a little bit less busy, the Whitefish Chain and the Gull Chain. So it just depends on what your preferences are and what you like to do on the lake or with water. If you don't like water, the lakes area might not be a great fit though. All right, so the final stop, and this is a broad level overview, obviously, just trying to get you an idea of what the types of amenities you'll see in Baxter. All of the dining in Baxter is going to be along this corridor right here. You'll see a little bit more along this stretch right in here as well, heading over into Brainerd. Some good options. And then I do want to say, like, there's a ton of really great restaurants. So Baxter is going to have the kind of more of the chain nationwide like restaurants that you more recognize, with a few locally owned places. But once you get into downtown Brainerd and head over to like East Gull Lake and head up towards Nisswa and Lakeshore and over to Crosby, you're going to find a ton of some really unique dining options in the Brainerd Lakes area that you just don't normally get for, you know, a smaller, kind of more rural area. Some of the options comparable to much larger population centers. If you enjoy dining out, I mean, it's, you know, the Brainerd Lakes area has a lot to offer in that way. You know, even though prices keep going up like crazy, it seems like, but there's a lot to offer. So when you do come to visit and check things out, just touch base with us and see how long you're going to be there, and we can make some recommendations on what restaurants you should make sure you stop by, because I left a whole bunch of restaurants off the table. All right, as we sort of wrap up here, so, you know, Baxter is a town of about 9,000 people, right? Not a huge town. It seems a lot busier, like it would be a lot larger than 9,000 people, because it has amenities that would typically be only available to towns much larger in population than 9,000, right? Got Brainerd next door, that's, you know, 15,000, depending on the last census was 2020, 5 years ago. So yeah, so it's 15,000, plus you got a lot of people that live outside of Really the Brainerd Lakes area is roughly 60,000 or so, but it doubles, triples in the summertime. Because of that, it can support a lot of amenities that you would not normally get in a town of closer to 9,000. Okay. So the pros we've talked about of Baxter? Modern conveniences, tons of shopping, dining, healthcare options, everything close by. If you live in Baxter, everything pretty much is like 5 minutes or less. Take you longer to get your shoes tied in the car than anything. So great schools, family friendly community, really great neighborhoods, kind of a family feel, and then access to outdoor activities. So lakes, trails, the Paul Bunyan Trail, but other trails as well. Parks that, help keep you active all year round. Winter activities that'll help you keep active all year round. But it's true, there's always cons that go with the pros. So, the first one, the most obvious one, the more suburban feel that it has compared to the rest of the other communities in the Lakes area. Doesn't have that traditional, up north feel that you might expect from a Minnesota lake town. It's busier, there's more traffic, especially on Highway 371 and Highway 210, that intersection. But they're actually currently working on a way to resolve some of that congestion there. So good things are coming. Less historic charm. It's a fairly new town, fairly newly developed compared to a town like Brainerd or Crosby, or even like Nisswa that has that small town charm up north feel to it. If you're looking for that, Baxter is probably not the best fit, but I would say Nisswa is go ahead and look at some of our Nisswa videos to get an idea of what Nisswa might be like. Yeah, so that's all. That's the yin and the yang of Baxter, Minnesota, the pros and the cons of living here. If you're looking for a convenient, family-friendly town with a bunch of modern amenities that are close by, easy to access the outdoor recreation areas of Lakes area, then Baxter is a truly great place to live. I have lived in Baxter for a number of years. I don't anymore. I've moved out of Baxter, but yeah, it was nice. It's convenient. So if you're thinking about making a move, reach out, shoot me a call, send me a text, drop an email. I'd love to help you find your dream home in Baxter or maybe a surrounding community, okay? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications. Until next time, I'll see you around the Brainerd Lakes area.